Ahoy there, mateys! It's time for another One Piece manga chapter review after 2 long weeks and a huge cliffhanger with the revelation of Loki. Let's see what we have in store this week. Chapter 1131, Loki of the Realm of the Dead. Well, that's a very interesting title. So is Loki related to the Realm of the Dead? Was Loki a god of the underworld in Norse mythology? I don't believe so, but that could be a natural connection to make. So we've got our cover story continuing. Oni Child Yamato at the Holy Inari Shrine Pilgrimage, Volume 18, Chasing the Katana Thief. So we've got Yamato riding on the dog, I forget the name. We've got Tama riding on horse Alina, and they're all running, dashing after the thief, who isn't shown yet. So I guess maybe they'll catch the thief, and that will be when we get the reveal of who the thief was. Notes from Oda: I went to South Africa. I'm returning with a renewed sense of gratitude and determination to do my very best. That's right, because the reason for this particular break, I believe, was that Oda was going to South Africa, where they are currently recording the the next season of the live action One Piece. So I guess everything went pretty well. I have lots of faith in the live action, with Oda being so heavily involved, that it won't stray too far off from the original intention and meaning of the story. So let's see. First panel. All right, Luffy celebrating. Finally at Elbaf. I knew this was Elbaf. I've wanted to come here for ages. Everything's so big. You don't say. Good for you. Now, I wonder if Usopp knows yet. Say, is there anything at the top of this tree? Hey, the strongest country in the world and the birthplace of war, huh? For real? So Loki is trying to talk to Luffy while Luffy's just chattering on in excitement about finally being at Elbaf. Being on Old Man Dorian Brogy's ship earlier was crazy. It's the first time I saw a bunch of giants in one place. Hey, I guess it makes sense that you guys would be the strongest. Hey! Listen when I'm talking to you! And now we've got Loki's voice resonating throughout the forest. We've got animals reacting to it. Grrr. Wolves growling. I'm the sun god from all the legends we passed down on this island. Don't speak unless I say so, human. Tell me, what do you think of my predicament? The accursed prince of Elbaf, Loki. Special bounty 2.6 billion. There's a bounty on Loki's head. That is very interesting. And it's a special bounty. That brings up a whole milieu of questions. First of all, will government put a bounty on Loki's head? Why? Why is it a special bounty? 2.6 billion is high. That's above most Yonko commanders. Most first Yonko commanders. It's not quite Yonko territory. I don't think there's been a Yonko with a bounty under, what, 3 or 4 billion? 3 billion, I believe. Let's see, when Luffy was made Yonko, I believe his bounty was 3 billion. So that's the lowest Yonko bounty we've ever seen. And Loki is just 400 billion below that, or 400 million below that, so it's a pretty high bounty. But, well, I guess it wouldn't be that out of place. The world government put bounties on Dorian Brogy. They put bounties on giants before. It's just that they won't mess with Elbaf as a nation. So I guess it could make sense they could put a bounty on even someone that was a prince, the Prince of Elbaf. Well, yeah, because Harujin's a prince too, and he had a bounty, so it's not that out of place for the world government to put a bounty on Loki. But why is a special bounty? So, also, this means that Loki must have left Elbaf at some point for the world government to put a bounty on his head? Loki has left Elbaf. So is Loki a pirate? A pirate, eh? But if Loki was a pirate, why did he come back to Elbaf? It doesn't seem to match up because I believe Loki's goal was to be king of Elbaf. So why leave Elbaf? I guess maybe there could have been a reason for him to leave Elbaf. It could relate to the special devil fruit he wanted. He could have wanted to amass power outside of Elbaf to then come back and take over Elbaf. So I guess there could be reasons why Loki would have gone out into the wider world, run into the world government, and got a special bounty put on his head. On the flip side, it could be a special bounty because of the devil fruit Loki has. If Loki has a devil fruit that is really special and the world government knows about it, the world government would put a special bounty on his head for the sake of that devil fruit alone. But that would mean that the devil fruit would have to be something of a especially high caliber. It would have to be something on that level of Luffy's fruit, because Luffy's fruit is the only devil fruit. Okay, Kaido's fruit as well, actually. So Luffy and Kaido's fruit are the only devil fruits so far in the story that have been highly prized by the world government, to the point that forces were used to protect them, transport them. They were offered as rewards and prizes to world government and Celestial Dragon. So, so would that put Loki's fruit, the fruit Loki wanted and has now or is still pursuing, in that category? I'm going to go with the idea that he has the devil fruit because the world government put that bounty on his head. That seems to lean towards that idea. If the bounty on Loki is about the devil fruit, which I feel like it might be because of the whole special bounty thing. Okay, let's get back to reading then. What do you think of my predicament, Luffy? It looks like you got caught. How shrewd of you. Their intent wasn't merely to catch me, though. They wanted to sweep me under the rug. I've been praying for release ever since. Can you believe it's been 6 years? 6 years? I'm the pride of Elbaf's immense strength. But these chains are made of sea stone. I can't unleash my power. I'm bound here in Warland to the treasure tree Adam. Well, that's a big confirmation. We just got confirmation that this is the treasure tree Adam. So the treasure tree Adam is in Elbaf. That's why getting wood from the treasure tree Adam is so rare, and you have to go into the black market to get it. And even then, it's very expensive. And it also confirms the chains are sea prism chains, which leads even more into the idea that Loki has a devil fruit. I have a proposal for you, Lappy. Luffy. You want to make a deal, Luffy? You're a pirate, right? I want you to undo my chains by dawn. In return, I'll wipe out any pirate crew you want. I'll make sure not to leave a trace. Sounds good, right? The key is somewhere in the village. I can't force you myself, but... I almost forgot to say. This is the realm of the dead. See, this is the realm of the dead. You see, the lowest layer of Elbath. It's a place no one dares to approach. Criminals and the condemned are dropped down here. It's a prison and execution ground. If you dig up the snow around here, you'll find the bones of countless humans and giants. These things have lived on this mountain for thousands of years. In our legends, they also call this the first world. And we get shots of what looks like a giant yeti grabbing a tree and smashing it. A giant snake biting into a rock and crushing it. And this world belongs to the suns, you foolish humans. I don't know what brought you to this forsaken mountain, but you should watch your step around these beasts. They often come up here to see their master. It's because I befriended them when I was a kid. Mumble. We've got another shot of the huge animals all coming up towards Luffy. Got a giant bear, giant yeti, giant snake, a mammoth, and a wolf. A black wolf with a scar over its eye. Interesting. Wow, this sure is nostalgic. Now if you cross me, these guys won't take that lightly. Shanks? Wait. Oh, okay. Wow. Sure is nostalgic. Now if you cross me, these guys won't take that lightly. The same fate is in store for any puny human who dares to defy Elbath. Only salvation from being devoured is to dress yourself in putrid-smelling clothes, to live and serve as a walking corpse. Master, that's a little harsh. Who is this guy? Is it okay if we let him get torn apart? Does he have anything good on him? Also, we apologize for fainting earlier. None of us expected him to show up. That red-haired Emperor Shanks. Shanks? Says Luffy. And Luffy has already befriended the animals. Now, and these little minion guys of Loki's are all shocked to see that Luffy has befriended the animals so quickly. Shanks? Yes, but this can't be. How can you have tamed the mountain beast? What the hell? What? Who the hell is this little guy? Shanks came here? You know him? Then Loki grins. Did he come? We're talking about the cow. Did he come? We're talking about that coward of a pirate, right? That pisses Luffy off, and he immediately goes into Gear 4th and is rearing back a Kong gun towards Loki. Bwah! He fires the Kong gun. Loki moves his head just in the nick of time, so the punch lands just beside his head. God, Lord Loki. Wait, hold your horses. I was just kidding. Huh? That's not something to joke about. I can't even move right now. This guy, if he gets these shackles off, I'll give him a quick death. I don't care if you can't move. Don't piss me off. Next time you say something like that, I'll bury you in that tree. Don't talk back to him, you fool. So, Why did Shanks come all the way out here? No way he was just running an errand. Is he still on Elbaf? That's not something I can just tell you. And now it looks like we've moved on to where the rest of the Straw Hats are. Crossing that giant rope bridge. Yeah, it's shaking like crazy now. We're gonna die. No way. Does that mean someone's coming? I don't know who it is. He looks he looks he looks like he was just struck by lightning. It's gotta be that sun god guy without the mask. I knew it. Looks like that woman and big guy are chasing after him. They've got the Sunny too. The Sunny? This is unreal. I guess we've got no choice but to go cut him up. Hold on. They might know the masters. You have to think this through though. Look, our goal isn't that much further. Just gotta book it at full speed ahead. Bet there's a village or something up there. If they catch us, it's all over. So, we've got Nami, Chopper, Zoro, Usopp, and Sanji all running up that rope bridge, being chased by the fake sun god, and the fake sun god is being chased by the two pirates introduced in the last chapter, and they are carrying Sunny with them. So this is quite a chase. Okay, next page. Borland Realm of the Dead. Dee ga 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 ga. Alright, I caught a moose. I'm glad we made it in time. You can't find these in the upper forest. Their meat is to die for. I'm sure it'll please the Straw Hats. New giant pirates, Captain Harujin. Those weigh a ton though. How are we gonna carry it? New giant pirate, Shipwright Stanson. And they're sitting on a giant moose corpse. That's interesting. They're giants. And the moose looks bigger than they are. So that's a massive moose. It's snowing, so there's no sunstone pinders. Don't embarrass me. We'll manage this meat. We'll manage this meat. We'll manage. This meat is for our saviors. Translated note. Kanji sunstone. While kana is pienta. Pienta could be painter. Closest north the word is pienda. Torture, compel, which is closely related to the pinder in English, one who impounds animals. Okay. What does this note relate to? Pinder. There's no sunstone pinders. So I guess something to treat the animal corpse with, basically. A quick refresher on Harujin. On Dressrosa in the New World, he got caught up in the schemes of former warlord Doflamingo. He was ultimately rescued from total erasure by the Straw Hat Pirates. He is now one of the 7 captains of the Straw Hat Grand Fleet. Heave ho! That's it, we got it. 1, 2. Or no one on Elbaf has to fear. The new giant pirates are here. The new giant pirates. Self-proclaimed part of the Straw Hat Fleet. Captain Harujin. These upstarts are from the generation after Dorian Broggie. The crew's made up of 5 members. Harujin is the captain. Goldberg the cook. Gerd the ship doctor. Stanson, the shipwright, and the navigator Rodo. Rodo being the fake Loki guy. And now we're going back to the other half of the Straw Hat crew. Let's seize around, Elbaf. How is it, Robin-san? I have no experience with cutting women's hair. I was nervous. My chest is beating like a drum, even though I don't have a heart. Yo! Skull joke! Yeah, you don't have a heart? That goes against science. Lilith is laughing. Bonnie says, super cute, Robin. Frankie says, that look really takes me back. It really suits her. Good job, Brooke, says Jinbei. It's perfect. Thanks, Brooke. Yo, you're welcome. So Brooke has given Robin her pre-time skip haircut. So Robin has her pre-time skip haircut, at least for this arc, which is very nice. I'm wondering if that's a permanent change or if this is just a style for this arc. Could be either one. It kind of makes sense because when Robin goes into the awakened form of her devil fruit, her hair reverts back to the haircut she had pre-time skip. So it probably makes the most sense that she keeps her pre-time skip haircut anyway. So at least for this arc, it's going to be her pre-time skip haircut. It might be for the rest of the story. I see, so your hair was like this back when you first met Saul. I'm sure he'll recognize it and be thrilled. Oh man, reunions always make me cry, says Frankie. You had that style when you met us too, Robin. Oimo and Kashi. Land ho, the fog is clear. It's smooth sailing. It's huge, even the island is giant. Let's stop and have ourselves a good drink. Woo! Elbaf, huff huff. This is bad. It's Mr. Saul. He's fallen and he can't get up. Something happened to Saul? Chapter end. So we've got the rest of the Straw Hats are now arriving at Elbaf with Dorian Broggie and the rest of the giant warrior pirates. So they will probably meet up with the rest of the Straw Hats pretty quickly. Harujan's on the island, which makes sense because his crew's on the island, so of course he's got to be on the island too. He's preparing, trying to get food to prepare a feast for the Straw Hats. So basically we're getting a bunch of setup here. Interesting about where Luffy is. So this is an execution ground. Of course it made sense when they zoomed out and showed that Elbaf had layers to it. It's natural to assume that there are people on each layer to Elbaf, and there might be a hierarchy to those layers other than just the nature of the way they're laid out. Now we know the bottom is the realm of the underworld, the realm of the dead, because so many people die there, and it's used as an execution ground where people are exiled and executed. Loki has human-sized minions. I guess those are just people that survived and just came to follow Loki. So I'm wondering how many humans have been to Elbaf before and been sent here that Loki has at least a couple of minions. Shanks was on the island. Luffy knows it now. Luffy's curious about why Shanks is on the island. Loki knows, or at least he's claiming to know why Shanks is on the island. That will give us some more information on Shanks if Luffy can get that information out of Loki. Loki is trying to trick Luffy into freeing him. Okay. We still gotta figure out what this whole special bounty is about. So that's another huge question that's been raised. Special bounty. Why? Loki referring to himself as the sun god. Why? And Loki has a history with Shanks. It seems. And why would Loki refer to Shanks as a coward? Is it because Loki spoke to Shanks? Maybe Shanks arrived in the same spot where Luffy is now. Loki tried to convince Shanks to let him go. Shanks recognized that Loki was up to no good and left. That would be reason enough for Loki to refer to Shanks as a coward. Hmm. Yeah, I think that might be the case. Coward of a pirate. And it also shows that Loki's henchmen are not really much. They're just kind of average henchmen. Because when Shanks was there, his Conqueror's Haki knocked out all of these henchmen. That's why they were apologizing to Loki. We apologized for feigning earlier. None of us expected him to show up, that red-haired Emperor Shanks, so his Haki knocked him out. Okay. Of course, Shanks has left Elbaf. Yeah, this is kind of a few mysteries that have been kind of revealed in this chapter. I think we're obviously building up. We've got this brand new mystery of what's happened to Saul. I'm guessing Saul was pretty safe and sound and with the other giants ready for Robin to arrive. But what could have happened to Saul? And I guess we'll finally get the reveal if Saul is the man who knows the location of the last poneglyph, the man marked by flames that they talked about in the story. I was not ready to believe that because where and when would flames have marked Saul? When he was last seen in the story in full, he was frozen by Aokiji. So how would he get marked by flames after that? A thought could be that the process of thawing him out marked him by flames, or maybe the ice left scars, frostbite, which is easy to confuse with burn scars, if you don't know. So maybe that's the case. They think he's marked by flames, but he's actually marked by ice. But I don't know if that's a little bit too involved. Or the man marked by flames is someone else completely, which is what I've been leaning towards. Because then there's also the question of how Saul knows the location of the final poneglyph, or has information that leads to information of the final poneglyph. He can't read poneglyphs. He only had a passing acquaintance with Olvia. Well, did become her friend eventually. But it isn't like he was a scholar from Ohara, and he didn't spend enough time with Olvia for her to have taught him that much about history and the true history of the world. So I guess there's also the chance that post Ohara being destroyed, Saul just spent that time studying, so maybe he could have information relating to the location of the last poneglyph. Or if the last poneglyph has always been in the giant's possession, then Saul could have learned it since he arrived on Elbaf. So there are options for why Saul would know. Options that make sense. So it's not entirely out of the question. It's kind of likely, but also kind of not likely. But then the question is, what happened to Saul? What could have hurt him? A sneak attack of some kind, but from who? Does Loki have forces in Elbaf proper outside of these little human minions he has around him down at the bottom level of Elbaf? I mean, he was a prince, so maybe there are factions among the giants that are loyal to Loki, even though it didn't seem that way, but we haven't seen much of Elbaf so far, but it could be a possibility that there are factions loyal to Loki among the giants. I mean, there's Rodo on Hardudin's crew. He seems to be obsessed with the whole sun god thing as well, so maybe that's the connection? Possibly. But yes, a very interesting chapter, a great way to come back after all of this time, after I don't know why this 2 weeks felt longer, maybe because the anime was off at the same time. But we are back in the grind. So with that, I will check you all in another episode. Thank you for watching. Please like and comment and subscribe, and I will see you next time.